Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, and thank you all at home for watching this meeting. Before we get started, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, so would everybody please rise? And Councilman Schneider, would you lead us again, please?
It'd be my pleasure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you please remain standing for a moment of silence and reflect upon the sacrifices our servicemen and women are making every day, both abroad, on foreign soil, and here domestically training. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Okay, once again, good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. For the record, all town board members are present with us this evening, as is our town clerk, Ann Spofford, all the way down to my right, and Greg Falchetti, the gentleman in the suit and tie, all the way down to my left, is our town council. So this evening's meeting is actually, we have two meetings tonight. One is the regularly scheduled town board voting meeting for September 5th. And the second one is a work session that we added to it. And the special work session is with the engineering department and we're going to be discussing the award of District Number 9, the design changes and project bid results with the public, and the board members are going to be discussing that as well. We have the engineering department is here tonight with us. Rich Franzetti, Rob Vara, and John Falchetti is going to be joining us shortly, and Mary Ann Maxwell, the person who watches your money and takes care of your dollars, is here with us too, Mary Ann. All right, so the first item on the agenda is to accept the town board minutes of July 18th, August 1st, August 8th, and August 15th of 2018. I need a motion to accept those.
So moved, or second?
So moved by Councilwoman McDonough, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the first resolution tonight is a resolution authorizing circulation of requests for qualifications for a comprehensive master plan and town code revisions. Councilman Schneider, would you read Resolution 1, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the preparation by town officers and consultants, including Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., Town Planning Consultant Patrick Cleary, and Town Council Joseph Charbonneau and Gregory Falchetti. A request for qualifications for professional services required in connection with preparation of a new and/or updated master plan for the Town of Carmel, as well as for revisions of the provisions of the Town of Carmel Town Code. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, offered by Councilman Schneider, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. So this is really, we've had two meetings with the public in regards to the updating the comprehensive master plan for the town of Carmel and also our code revisions. So this is now moving forward with requesting for qualifications for firms that are going to assist the town in this endeavor. This is something that we know because it's fairly large and very involved. Whenever you're dealing with a master plan, you have a lot of folks involved in that and from the town, but we also need an outside firm to assist us in that as well. It's not uncommon that municipalities, when they're undergoing master plan revisions and code revisions, that they bring in outside consulting help, firms to assist us with that. So this is the process of getting qualifications from the various firms that do this, that provide that service, and once we have the RFQs and we have an opportunity to review those, then we'll move forward with going out for formal proposals to provide that service. And we have money budgeted in the 2018 budget for these firms, these consulting firms, and that will be carried forward into the 2019 budget, because we're probably not going to award that, Greg, probably until sometime in early 2019.
I would say yes.
If at the
the
earliest.
earliest, yeah.
Yeah. Okay?
Yep.
Anything you want to add? Anything else, Sue?
No.
Okay. All right. So the next resolution tonight is a resolution adopting the 2017 Service Award reports for Carmel Fire Protection Districts Number 1 and 2. Susie, would you read 2, please?
Sure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Fire Protection Districts Number 1 and Number 2, hereby accepts the 2017 Length of Service Award Program Annual Report for Carmel Fire Protection Districts Number 1 and Number 2 as prepared by Penflex Inc., a copy of which is on file in the office of the Town Supervisor. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 3, is a resolution releasing a snow removal bond for Kirkwood Estates subdivision. And Councilman Lupinacci, would you read that, please?
Whereas applications have been made by Mr. Richard Esposito for the total release of a snow bond posted in accordance with Chapter 131 and/or Chapter 156 of the Town Code regarding the Kirkwood Estates subdivision, and whereas said applications have been reviewed by Michael J. Simone, Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent, who has recommended the release of said bond. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board, Town of Carmel, hereby authorizes the release of the bonds referenced herein in the amount of $3,300. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Borelli. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 4, is a resolution authorizing requests for proposals pursuant to property maintenance law. Councilman Borelli, would you read 4, please?
Resolved that, resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, in accordance with Chapter 114 of the Town of Carmel Town Code entitled Property Maintenance, hereby authorizes the Town of Carmel Director of Codes Enforcement, Michael Carnazza, to solicit request proposals for the cleanup and correction of the conditions and/or town code violations existing at the following properties: 4 Cross Road, Mayapack, tax map 75.65-1-43, 615 Route 6N, tax map 75.6-2-64, 313 Oak Road West, tax map 63.82-1-69, and 30 Shore Drive, Mayapack, tax map 86.47-1-20. We'll offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And I just want to explain, even though there will be a cost to clean up these properties, and all 4 of these are either abandoned homes, homes that have been foreclosed on, or the zombie home, which is kind of in the middle of abandoned, and the bank's actually taking them back over again. There's a lengthy process, as you know. It takes forever sometimes for banks to take properties back over, because they'd really rather not do that, because then they become responsible for them like this. But the town will be made whole. The town will be reimbursed for any costs associated with these cleanups through the property tax levy. So they'll be made whole by the county. If the banks or the lending institutions hadn't made the town whole by then, it goes to the county in December, then the county reimburses the town, and then the county will then go after the properties. At some point, they'll file notices against the properties, and when the properties are sold, the county's in line to get reimbursed back, paid back. So we have to pay up front to get these done, because we don't want to see these distressed blights in the community, and the residents don't either, but they'll be taken care of and we'll be paid back for it. Okay, next resolution, number 5, is a resolution authorizing Town Labor Council Jackson Lewis, PC, on behalf of the Carmel Town Board to request action to be taken by Putnam County Personnel Officer to New York State Department of Civil Service. Councilman Schneider, would you read number 5, please?
I would like to make a motion to table the resolution, just in regards to information that was received yesterday. I think we should look at discussing it a little bit further before making a resolution.
Okay. John, can I ask who you received the information from? Because I wasn't given any
It was
new information.
communications that were originated from Putnam County Personnel Department.
Okay, can you share that with?
Yeah, and it...
Can you
and it
share
was-
that with the rest of the board?
Yeah, it was sent to everybody yesterday.
I think it was sent to everybody,
From
the chief
Putnam
of
County
police.
Personnel?
No, the chief.
I got something from the chief.
Yeah, from the chief.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, I did get something from the chief, but it really wasn't, it was like a 2-sentence email.
Right, the attachment on that was the correspondence from the county that kind of goes against the notion that we were under prior to this resolution. So there was new information that was given. I think that you were made aware of the information a while back, but we never received that. This new information that we all did receive yesterday, I at least think that it should be discussed based on the reason for this not being pursued further.
All right, Jonathan, I read that email, the attachment, and we all knew about that months ago. We knew about that. When we authorized Jackson Lewis to go ahead and prepare the letter, we knew it then. I know what you're referring to, but
Not that one thing.
Not the very
one-
specific
not
part
the
about
very
the
specific part.
disqualification.
oh, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about it in executive session, and everybody agreed, yeah, let's do this. It's the right thing to do.
Not if there was an error in an application. I wouldn't have agreed to that.
No, we,
John might not have been there.
I mean,
Oh, maybe you weren't there, maybe
Yeah.
maybe
John
maybe
might
you
not have
weren't
been
I
there.
may not have been there, but yeah, if there's an error in application, I wouldn't go along with that. If there's an error in some administrative
no.
process of
it
accounting,
wasn't, we didn't
then I
talk
go along
about
with
an
it.
error in
But the only,
application.
wait a minute, the only error that attached email spoke about was not an error from the Carmel PD. It was an error on the county's part. Their error was allowing her to sit for the exam.
It said the error was based on the applicant and what the applicant had filled out. Again, I would like
No.
to table this to discuss more, so we
Okay.
can have it on a public forum, because it is one of our police. I think
right,
that that would be
but-
the appropriate thing. But again, this was information that you had for a while. I, again, did not know about this until yesterday.
I thought listen, when we spoke about this in executive session, all five of us were there, and we all agreed the right thing to do was to send this letter. But what you're saying is you had no knowledge of a letter from personnel to...
No, I had no
This new
knowledge
thing.
of an inaccurate application that made someone eligible to take a test that they shouldn't have been eligible for if the application was filled out correctly, which is what the Putnam County personnel letter states that we received yesterday.
Well, just with all due respect, John and Susie,
Yeah, I don't,
you knew why you knew why this individual was disqualified. You knew that the date was wrong, that there was an error, that there was a date that was submitted, and personnel reviewed this individual's application, and they allowed the individual, even though the date was wrong that was submitted on it, allowed the person to sit for the exam. And we all felt that that was wrong that they did that. They should not have disqualified her. Notify her ahead of time that you're disqualified. Don't let her agonize through the exam.
My understanding is that that's what they did. They came back to the police department and said, here's the list of officers that we have signed up for the test. Is this accurate? Our police department then sent them communication again. Again, this isn't something I think we should be discussing in the open forum. This should definitely be tabled
I know, but-
and discussed further.
I agree, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you, it's just that, why wasn't I notified about this
You know what,
today, that we were going to table this? When you knew that you were going to table it, please, somebody communicate in the future that we're going to table something, and we'll table it.
Greg,
We all agreed on it, now we're
Greg, are we
tabling it.
allowed to go into executive session right now for a few minutes?
Sure, on motion you
Because
are.
Just you
because
got
I
a
don't
motion,
think
just
it
vote on
should
the motion.
be-
No, but
no,
listen,
no.
I agree with
No,
you,
no, no.
we should not be, but
There are
this
people here
blindsided me, and Councilman Borelli, and maybe Councilman Lupinacci, you guys just blindsided us.
No, Kenny, I just found out. He just said, I'd
Well,
like to
maybe not
table.
you, I'm
I would-
sorry.
He just said, I'd like to table this.
All right,
Okay,
but,
so-
all right,
so
so.
I don't want to
think-
go into executive.
don't
What I
think there's
suggest you
any
do
coercion
is there
going
is-
on
All
here.
right, I don't want to table it either.
Okay, there's a
But-
motion. I wouldn't discuss any more of the particulars of it. There's a motion. If you have a second, then vote the motion to table. Otherwise, you can actually offer the
Well,
resolution.
I think, I mean, I personally do not want to table it either because of things going on, but I do respect that if a council person has a situation, that we should hear it out, because maybe he's misunderstanding, or maybe he wasn't at the meeting, or whatever. I think, I mean, I just think that's courteous to do it. You know, so it could take 5 minutes for us to go back there, revisit what it was, he can show us everything, we can pull it up on our phones, and then you come back out. That's all I'm saying.
There are-
Because
No,
There's over a dozen people here for something that we should have done first, that are going to wait till 8 o'clock to be heard. I'm not going into executive session now.
Mike, if you don't want to come into executive session, you don't have to. I'm just saying
There's a
what's
motion
fair
on the
for-
table, take a vote.
So I make a motion then to go into, I don't know, what do I do now?
No,
You want Jonathan's
John
motion first.
John made a motion to table.
Right, and he didn't get a second,
No.
because, right.
All right, so is there a second?
No, so that's when I was going to make a motion to go into executive session for a few minutes.
No,
I'll second the motion.
Because I'd like to get this going on tonight. I don't want to table it either, but out of respect, because he just
Yeah,
told me right now.
maybe I just need clarification.
We didn't speak beforehand. He just told me
Up
right now.
until yesterday, I was under
Oh, no,
completely
I-
different information.
I didn't know, Jonathan, I had no idea that you were going to motion to table this. That's fine, though. We don't have to share that with one another, you know, but I've made motions to table things in the past, and it got nowhere. I didn't have any support. That's not true. Maybe I did have one of the board members supporting.
But Kenny, there's no support right now. I'm making a motion.
Okay.
We can either sit out here for the
So
next
the
5
table
minutes
motion-
and talk about this. or
Table
we can-
motion
It's gone.
failed.
Is gone.
Because
I-
no one seconded it, so now Councilman McDonough has a new motion.
Just to run into
There.
executive session, to speak about it so we can move on it.
Get a second on that?
I'm not sure.
Seconded by
Jonathan
Jonathan
seconded that.
seconded it.
Okay,
Don't do it with people here.
all right.
Roll call vote. Councilman Borelli?
Idiots again.
Councilman Borelli?
No.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
No. Okay. We're going to recess for a few minutes while whoever wants to go into executive session to discuss this can leave the dais, go into executive session, and then come back.